It is my pleasure to welcome the team from the Arena Games. Hi, gang. How we doing?
Hello.
Living the dream. How about you?
Living the
Absolutely.
dream is fair.
The reason I put that on, obviously, because it's your teaser trailer from a couple of months ago now. How long ago did you put that out? Must be a couple of months now.
I think it was just the start of October, was it?
Yeah, that went out 12th of October.
Yeah.
Dates have been in my brain. 12th of October.
Okay.
And then we officially, there's like a little teaser of, hang on, something's happening. And then we officially launched online 27th of October with tickets then went on sale 2nd of November and then been flying since.
Amazing. So I'm assuming, Kat, are you in charge of like the diary?
It sounds like that, doesn't it?
It's organized chaos.
Of all three's brains.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to address something in the comments. Hang on a minute. CrossFit. You don't seem to understand. This is an official CrossFit one, right? So as soon as I've done my show, I hang it up. I don't keep wearing it all day. All right. This is my show shirt. So thanks for noticing. Thanks for being there twice in 2 days. Guys, thanks for coming on. I know you're really, really busy. Who was Simon? Was I talking to you on Instagram over the weekend?
Yeah. And then I think
what was that Ergmania thing that you went to? Can you just briefly tell me what the hell you were doing?
The thing is, I absolutely love the guy, Chris from Apex, who put it on. So I really don't want to say what it was, and what sort of hell it was. And it was we had a great time. Everyone had a great time.
Morale was high.
Morale was very high, to be fair. It's a 6-hour erg event, 2 hours of row, 2 hours of ski, 2 hours of bike. And it's teams of 6, 3 male, 3 female. And the way it runs is it's kind of like everyone changes on the minute. So you'll have a minute on, then, so say, for example, I was on for a minute, then Kat would come on for a minute. Yeah, on the minute. So people were pretty intense on the transitions, to be honest. Kat was pretty intense on the transitions.
That's
a
so
lot.
you have like a minute on, then
40 seconds.
On for a minute, then 5 minutes off. Yeah. And then off for 5 minutes, and then back on for a minute, and then off for 5 minutes, and back on for a minute. There is, I think, was it at 45 it went females, or half an hour it went females.
She did an hour of all 6 of you. Then for 15 minutes it was girls only, but you could split it how you wanted. So we just went like 20 seconds, full send, whatever you've got. And then the last 15 minutes was guys, and then you had a transition time as you moved. We went rower to bike to skier, which, to be fair, I think was a good order. The rower was 1,000% the hardest out of them all.
Yeah.
And that you did an EMOM for 6 hours.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So was that the standard? Or was that... Yeah.
Yeah, it was an enforced EMOM, yeah.
Fucking hell. All right.
And there was a judge.
Sounds good.
Sure.
Sounds great. Yeah, good.
Yeah,
I did Saturday morning, I did gym sync, which was like 33 minutes of work. So that was, and every swapping every 2 minutes. So that was enough for me.
Yeah, the gym we did it out there, done the gym sync the day before. So they had a very busy weekend of events. We didn't jump in for that one, but the gym which hosted the Ergmania did.
Yeah. Right, cool, got it. I'm just throwing it out there. My team of 4, we're over 40. We're top for high voltage for the men over 40 for that. So I'm just saying. But it was the only one we did all year. So
I think we came 17th. We came 17th. Phenomenal.
Yeah, we had 2 teams. We had a 17th and an 18th.
There were some heavy hitters there on the day.
Like consistency.
That is.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it? So guys, what I want to do is just give us an individual kind of introduction about yourselves, just like an elevator pitch, who you are, what's your name, where'd you come from, what, ideal date, whatever you want to talk about. And then we'll move on to sort of CrossFit, Arena Games, where, your background and what the Arena Games is and where it came from. So should we start with that one? Should we start with Kat?
Hello. Elevator pitch. I feel like I should peep in. So yeah, my name's Kat. Hey team. I'm the CrossFit brains, I think, part of the team. I started doing CrossFit when I was 17, turning 18. So my background, I was that kid that did every sport and was kind of good at any sport she tried and gave a go at. I went to an all-girls school, I did gymnastics was my main thing. So then when I found CrossFit, the environment of that was huge. To be in a sport where it's really cool for women to be really strong. I had a really, really influential CrossFit coach when I first started, Tara Smith. She just went to the Masters Games, an absolute monster. So yes, being in that environment kind of improved my confidence, improved all of that. Then I moved up to Newcastle because I'm obviously not a Geordie. I'm not the Geordie voices on this Team Arena. I moved up here for university where I did sport and exercise science, learned all cool, fun, sciencey things, but was never really me. Always liked the coaching side of it. So I'd coach during my degree. And so then I went full time doing that, which is where I met Simon at the gym. And that's where we are now, full circle.
Yeah.
Cool. Lovely. And you currently, do you coach CrossFit, Kat, predominantly? Is that
Yes,
what you coach?
I coach out of CrossFit Tyneside and CrossFit Cramlington, so sister sites, which absolutely love. We host a Friday night. It's like I can't call it a comp class, but it's a comp class for an hour and a half, which they absolutely love. It's your usual people who wouldn't normally go to a comp class, and that's why we didn't really brand it as that, but they've absolutely embraced it. Like being art, and we'll get onto it, in the mixed category. It's more those kind of people who are not elite to CrossFit, but have an hour and a half on a Friday night will be full send. So that's love coaching. It's definitely my passion.
Perfect. Jamie, do you want to go next? You're next on the clock.
Go on then. My name is Jamie Mackay. I have been doing CrossFit every single morning for the last month. So I'm relatively new to it. My background in terms of sport and fitness has mainly been commercial fitness training. However, I met Simon in the barber chair at about 12 months ago-ish, 10, 12 months ago.
Yeah.
And overheard a little conversation. I wasn't prying, I promise. But he ended up talking about the idea of the Arena Games and what he was looking to do with Kat. And I thought that it was crazy enough to get involved, but also totally worth getting involved with. You know, the idea itself sort of lit a bit of a fire in me. For, you know, my involvement in Arena Games is going to be the sort of the business and finance aspect of it, and helping sort of manage and look at the background side of things. Kat obviously going with the sports side of things, and Simon will get into what he does in a second. But yeah, my involvement in it is as much as I'm getting involved in the physical side from a CrossFit perspective now. Every single morning I've committed to it. Yeah, the running of the background stuff is my neck of the woods, I reckon.
Great. Okay. Thank you very much. And Simon, over to you.
So I am coming up to a 3rd year anniversary in CrossFit. I believe we've managed to make it to intermediate masters athlete, which is a huge achievement.
Perfect.
I met Kat at, as we say, CrossFit Tyneside, where all good things are born, in the barber chair and at the gym. That's where everything's born, right? At the time, and we still do, I've got a meal prep company, which obviously fits really well with any sort of sport and stuff. And Kat had been my coach, and basically said to me, could I get involved with a meal prep company? Like, it makes a lot of sense, the nutrition side and sports side. She came along for like a couple of weeks just to see how things worked, made herself a job, and then made herself a business partner pretty quickly, which is what she's about.
Love it. Love it.
So I come from nightclub, festival, events background. So what I did at uni, I did events.
Cool.
And by proxy, ended up being in branding and marketing and media. I guess you were saying a lot of your audience was in America. So just to speak to the culture of why it's a little bit different. In the UK, in our generation, people used to go out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at uni, right?
And
Along
Sunday.
those lines. And Sunday. So being in that industry, before I realized it, I was actually making like 3 or 4 different brands a week or a month. When you're promoting all the different nights, you're basically coming up with DJs, with dates, with taglines, with themes for the night. Do you know what I mean? Fancy dress, all that sort of stuff. And that just transferred into being in the marketing industry. And I think kind of lucky being 36 that we kind of, as you say, you're around 40, we came up at the time social media came up, so we've grown with it. And where the Arena Games comes from was kind of my journey in CrossFit is the complete opposite end of Kat. So Kat did it from when she was little. I picked it up at 33. Coming from a team sport background, I was like high level in basketball, high level in, going to say, soccer for your American audience. Lived and breathed team sport. As soon as I say again, sorry.
They're learning how to say football.
They're learning, yeah. When I came into CrossFit, I think I kind of found that team sport environment, but just on a completely different level. I think everyone talks about community now in the marketing, but the CrossFit community is something completely different to anything I've ever experienced. And despite my ability level when I came in, coming from football, it's super different in terms of being explosive and weight and gymnastics and all that sort of stuff. I felt just so welcome and so part of it and so encouraged to be part of the lifestyle, and fell in love with it essentially. So when me and Kat, one day I was kind of saying how intimidated I was by entering competitions when I was sort of still, 12 months ago. And she told me how it's not scary at all. We do the scaled competitions and intermediate competitions. You could definitely do it. And come from an events background, we then started going to competitions, and I was like, there could be so much more to this. Like, I feel CrossFit competitions are in school halls, they're in boxes, they're in whatever it is. I was like, this could easily be on a bigger stage. This industry is so much bigger than people give it credit for. And I just thought I could add like an events production style, a music style, whether it's lights, smoke, the way the floor set out, the vendor village, interaction, all that sort of stuff, and bring something special basically to the industry, especially in the UK when we've got these huge arena venues that are underutilized for sport. That's kind of where the idea came from. So I think we had one conversation, and I was like, we could do an event, and Kat was like, yeah, we could. And then I just went immediately to the arena in Newcastle, and I was like, let's do this. They backed it. Here we are.
Perfect.
Was that a lot of info for you?
Yeah, that was a lot. That's great. I've got a lot to unpack there, and I've got a lot of questions for you. Firstly, just a side note, your background in events. Have you heard of Roger at the WFP?
I haven't.
Do you know about the World Fitness Project? The World Fitness Project. Have you? Yeah. So the event director, Roger, his background, I spoke to him a few weeks ago. His background is events for nightclubs. And his sole input into the WFP is creating the nightclub feel in big events. So hearing his background coming in and yours, you're pretty much like same background. Obviously, his is very different. His is, stopping around and doing bits in different cultures. So he has to embrace different cultures around like when they do the stops. Whereas with yours, you've got complete ownership. You can create whatever the hell you want with this, which is what I love about the Arena Games. It's so different from everything we've seen. So firstly, awesome background. And I love the fact that all three of you have got completely different inputs. Sometimes, if I've owned affiliates in the past, and me and my business owner were very similar in terms of our input. So there was gaps that we didn't address, and then we're both trying to do the same shit. So the fact that there are the three of you doing different stuff, brilliant. Take ownership of that and go with it, which is cool. So, the first thing that hit me was obviously the trailer. I had no idea it was coming out. I had no idea the Arena Games was a thing. And then I saw Taylor Howe walking out, picking up a barbell in an empty arena, dropping it, walking away, and then Arena Games. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, because I've been doing CrossFit in 2011, and purely in the UK. I've been to events abroad and stuff with athletes, never competed myself abroad. I had Portugal once. But other than that, the UK scene is pretty barren. We've got a couple of events that I really like because they've been consistent. They've been doing what they do. Things like Battle for Middle Ground, Rain Hill. We've got Steed and Defiant, which is like a erg-only burpees, odd object kind of thing, which is great. Steve's a good friend of mine. But the last big competition I would say that we had on our turf was the European Champs, which was previously before that Battle of the Boxes or Battle of the Beasts, and Carl was doing all that down in Essex. We had the Battle of London, in the copper box. Do you know what happened with that? It's a really funny story, really. Do you know the Olympic Park, the Elizabeth Park, where the London Olympics were held? So January 2014, the Battle of London took place, and all of the top athletes, all of them from Europe, but some of them came abroad from America and across. It was this giant fucking thing in the copper box, which is where the boxing and weightlifting happened at the London Olympics. It's this multi-million pound venue in the middle of the Olympic Park. And this is 18 months after the Olympics are finished. It was fresh, right? And then there was an event in there. We did this event, and on the Monday morning, they took up all the matting and they'd completely wrecked the wooden flooring underneath. And it was like a £5 million jobby to repair. So that event had to move north to Manchester. They kind of disappeared after that. But anyway, that's a side note. Events in the UK have been very limited and very sparse. I tried my hand at them in Brunel University. I did a couple back in 2016, 17. But that was small potatoes. It was at Brunel University in their sports facility. It wasn't an arena. I've been to events abroad to watch, to spectate. I was at the French Throwdown. Obviously, went to Rogue last month. I've been to these events that are huge. And same thing as you, I've always thought, why the hell do we not have our own event on UK soil? Because we've got so many decent gyms. We've got so many decent athletes. And we need that bar. We need to raise the bar in terms of quality of event to spur more people on into doing it. And so as soon as I saw, that's what was at the back of my mind. As soon as I saw that trailer, I was like, oh, here we go. Rumblings. And then I've been watching the kind of the ads and the posts and everything coming through, which is why it was so cool to get you guys on. I like the strapline putting everyday athletes on the big stage. I like that. Who came up with that?
The marketing brain himself, Simon Mooney.
It's too humble to say it.
Yeah, the guy that's been doing it for a month. Is that right? Or 3 months? Right. Okay, perfect. I mean, it's bang on, because the two biggest event series that we have in the UK and we've had for 10 years are Battle for Middle Ground and Rainhill. And those are the ones that provide a platform for people, but they've done their thing. And it's very, they do an event every 3 months. For anyone in the US, they do an event every 3 or 4 months. And it's static for the year, so it doesn't change. However, they are not an arena event. They're very different. So you guys putting on this arena is a massive USP. Huge USP. So I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving the idea of it. So tell me about the event. Tell me about what the kind of the motivation behind the event we've kind of got behind. So from the strapline, I'm assuming putting everyday athletes on the big stage. Talk me through the things like the programming, the workout. Don't tell me any of the workouts because I don't want to know. But what is it that's going to set this event apart from the other events around the UK?
So I think
I think we're really blessed. Go on, sorry.
No, you can do.
I was going to say, I think we're really blessed with the ends of the spectrum, because essentially Kat's pretty elite in her category, and because I'm coming up in my third year, like I'm still the other end of the category. I'm still so fresh and so new and so enthusiastic. I think to talk about what you were saying, when there's not that much in the UK event scene, by the way, I think my enthusiasm being a newbie and still falling in love with it was such a contrast to Kat, who's just going to competitions, doing them, in the habit of things kind of being stale, if you know what I mean, and just kind of being what they are. But I think what that's going to bring is Kat knows what actually works and what doesn't work. And I say, let's do this. Basically, coming from a newbie perspective, what I would like to do, what I think would be too much for me. And then Kat being so well-rounded and elite as a coach, knowing what we can actually do. So I think it's kind of having that new perspective in terms of the programming versus genuine coaching. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, I think the thing is, everyone's, like you say, Simon, everyone's at a different stage. So we all know what's missing from each end of the spectrum. So Kat knows exactly what's missing from, the elite side of things. Simon from the sort of the middle aspect, and then me from the absolutely complete brand new side as well. So we're basically, again, similar to the business structure itself, everyone has their, you know, really strong points. Everyone has their weaknesses, but the weaknesses are filled by somebody else within the group. And it's the same with the events themselves and the programming. There's always going to be a gap, but one of us three is able to point out what that gap is. And then we just, rather than saying, can we do it, we just say, how do we do it?
Yeah. I think one thing is that we're not doing. We're basically having elite and then scaled and intermediate mix to kind of make it accessible to everyone. So challenging enough for intermediate, but scalable enough for new athletes. I think my biggest thing when we talked about our background and that sort of stuff, the elite category is going to look after itself, right? Like they want to be on that big stage. The prize money's there. They all know they want to compete as often as possible. Their motivations are their motivations, and we know we're going to see a lot of elites. My motivation personally, still feeling like such a newbie in the industry, is to make it people's first competition. I want to see as many first-time people doing a comp as possible. And if I can get those people doing their first comp in an arena, then they're going to be in love with CrossFit for life. Do you know what I mean? That's what we mean by putting everyday athlete on the big stage. Like, that is my motivation. That's where I'm going to get my satisfaction. It's not going to be from the elite category. It's going to be coming from that, people doing their first comp, people being involved for the first time, essentially. But
it's one of those things as well where
I
was going to say, when you have the elite category and then you have the, you know, the intermediate category or in the mixed category, it's the same as any other sport. So, you know, football or soccer, you know, you've got your elites, but you've also got a very easy access to entry. You know, when you're young, or even if, you know, even as a mature person, you'll still have a reasonably easy access to the sport itself. And then you can look up to the elite category as someone or something to be influenced by or motivated by. Whereas for me personally, I hadn't seen that within this sport. So if we can provide that and offer that to people who maybe are just getting involved in the sport, they'll be, you know, competing or watching alongside and participating in the same arena as these elite guys and girls. They're then going to be motivated to then push themselves higher up and maybe get other friends and stuff involved, which is something that I don't think, you know, we've seen as of yet.
No, for sure.
I think for me personally as well, I was saying, especially in my first year, I keep going back to this point with people. I used to see people come in with their athlete t-shirts from competitions and be like, wow, like they're a big dog. I would never go to a competition. They're going to smoke me in this workout. I feel embarrassed to even be in a partner with them or in a team workout with them, when I could have easily gone to a comp. Do you know what I mean? I think people were still adding to the market. So I run a football club as well. And I've got a few of my players to start doing CrossFit. And I'm like, you guys have got a team in, by the way, just so you know, to support things. You're a team with these, like, you're in. And they're like, am I not going to get like laughed out the competition? And I'm like, absolutely not. Look at the barbell weights, you can do them. Look at the dumbbell weights, you can do them. Scaling options for knee raises. Like, people come in and, you know, I could have probably had toes to bar and pull-ups so much earlier than I did, but I didn't even want to try them or get that guidance from a coach. Whereas now, people I'm bringing in, I'm going straight away, you can do this, you can do this. And then they're so much further ahead than I was in their first year, because they've got that voice of someone coming from a newbie perspective. But sorry, Kat, tell them the workouts anyway. That's what we're here for. We got into culture and theory.
That was a good CrossFit question, and I got completely vetoed there. To be fair, I feel like everyone's kind of touched on anything that I would kind of add into it. Like, the adding everybody to the big stage is the whole branding behind it. Like, you named big comps there of like French Throwdown and Rogue, and they are unreal. Like, they are great events, but they are all focusing more towards your elite athlete and your RX athlete. And for me personally, as like a coach, there's lots of them, but it's your everyday athlete who turns up and puts in all the effort and turns up to the classes. Like, people will try and tell you that CrossFit's dead. I don't believe that. Like, people still turn up. Everyone's got their motivation for why they're doing it. Everyone's still got like whatever they've got going on in their life. Like, they turn up and that's their 1 hour. They're the class. They make it their moment, and that's kind of it's that same like vibe that we're trying to then put on a big stage of like giving everybody the opportunity. So in terms of movement standards, that may be typically a little bit lighter towards than what, like, I feel like nowadays with everything moving the goalposts of RX standards and now like elite standards used to be, and even intermediate comps now, like, you've got to be able to bar muscle up, where we've kind of tried to bring it down a little bit. It's what hybrid events do so well, of everything's so accessible, everything looks class online, and that's what we're trying to bring back with the CrossFit style things. We're a functional fitness event, but trying to bring back into it to make it accessible for all the people to attend, like Simon mentioned, with like having scaling options and gymnastics, like just to get everyone in the mix. And that's where the name of the category came from.
Yeah.
Yeah,
good.
I think
like
that's the key. What we're talking about with programming is we're focused on the programming to make it an easy entry for anyone who's fairly new or intermediate at the sport. Like, this is easy for you to join, and then the RX, like, you're gonna get pushed. It's as simple as that. Like, we're going to test people.
You're still going to
at their
test your
max
fitness.
and
You're still going to get a huge workout in whichever way.
The thing is, I think we've I think the last 5 years, especially at the games level, and then obviously things trickle down from the games. We can't deny their influence on other competitions. Circus tricks have become the norm at competitions, and we've kind of veered away from just pure thoroughbred fitness and athleticism, in my opinion. And when that does crop up in the Open, for example, that's why I'm a massive ambassador for the Open, and I really enjoy it. And I've done it. This will be my 14th Open. It is the test for me every year, and it is the one that levels the playing field for everyone. High Rocks have done a really good job in scooping up that swathe of people, probably that have been doing CrossFit for less than 5 years, that want to test, but they want that thing of, I can do that. And I had Daniel Chaffee on yesterday, the owner of the French Throwdown. And his thing as well is we need people walking out of, and this is the parallels that Kat, you just said about the parallels between coaching a gym class and having new people entering the gym, a newbie at the gym. They need to walk away, say, or come in the gym saying, or see the advertisement saying, I can do that. And then they have a go. With High Rocks, no one's looking at High Rocks thinking, I can't do that. They might think I'm slower, but they don't think I can't do that. Whereas if you look at the elite CrossFit competitions, they're doing 20 fucking skin the cat muscle ups for time with one hand, and then they're doing handstand walks with one hand, and then it's like snatch overhead squats with a dumbbell. You know, the shit that they do, most people at the gym level do not look at that and get inspired to compete. They look at it and they go, wow, and then they move on. What we need to do is connect the two dots of, you can compete if you choose to. And that's the coach's job and the affiliate owner's job to do the convincing there, like Kat said. But also we need the competitions to match that. And that's what's been missing. And what you guys are talking about and what you're saying is that connection between those two dots that we can have, which is amazing. And the fact that you're bringing it back, I think it's a very, very good, a welcome return for competitions, let's say, for what you're providing. So it's awesome to hear. In actual fact, I'm trying to convince so many people at my gym to do competitions. Like we said, Simon, before on the Isle of Man, we punch well above our weight in terms of producing elite athletes. So obviously we've got Kringle who's there. We've got we've got the #1 ultra female runner in the world at the moment, Sarah Webster. We've got Sir Mark Cavendish, the best Tour de France cyclist, stage winner ever. We've got so many elite athletes that come out of an island of 80,000 people. And the reason for that is because, I'll be honest, there's not much fucking else to do. You're just doing sport or you're a farmer. And that's it. There's two options on the Isle of Man. So that's why we produce these insane athletes like Connor Pillington, who won the Open in 21 and 22 with Kringle. They were training partners. Connor's a full-time electrician. He had to drop CrossFit to focus on actually earning money. But he's getting back into it now. He's looking at comps. We've got Sean, who's his training partner. We've got so many fucking athletes, and the potential. The beauty of CrossFit is you just need a roof and you need the same equipment. You just need the work ethic, the grunt and work ethic. And that's the beauty of our coaching system and our methodology. Like you said a minute ago, Simon, everyone's doing the same shit. Like you look around and you can compare across the board, the elites are doing what we can, but recently they haven't been doing what we do. They've been doing stuff that's well beyond what we can do, well beyond. And that's where that
I think
disconnect
even
comes.
the simplest stuff like me now seeing crossovers added to workouts, I'm like, here, man, I'm struggling with double unders. Like, even at intermediate level, I'm like, this is one of the things where I'm struggling to work on. Now you want to add, like you said, circus tricks. That was the first thing that came to mind. I was like, now I've got to become a boxer, basically, an elite boxer doing crossovers and stuff. I was like, this is a lot. I think also with us being first-time buyers in terms of kit as well, that kind of inspired us to stay so true to CrossFit principles, original CrossFit principles, because like, are we going to go and buy all these crazy things? Like, we can't. Like, we're at entry level now. So we're kind of lucky that it speaks to our ethos in terms of being first-time buyers as well, you know?
There's that side of things. And then obviously Simon and Kat both voicing different ends of the spectrum from a competition point of view. You know, when you're looking at the elites, Simon, you mentioned about the intimidation factor of seeing someone in a t-shirt. Because we're going so back to basics with it, we're looking at removing that intimidation factor. So then that again leads into the getting everybody at every level involved in it. And I think hopefully by doing that, we get a bigger volume of people actually involved in the sport, even from an entry level.
I think the what speaks to that, when I was talking about athlete t-shirts, this has probably crept in without me realizing in our marketing. So we're pretty much all our marketing budget, because I know there's a lot of business owners on that listen to this podcast and stuff like that. We focus our marketing budget to be in face-to-face rather than online. And our big thing at the minute, we're in Manchester this weekend doing gym takeovers, and Cat will program the workout, so they're similar to a comp workout. Like at the minute, we're doing 3 sections of 12 minutes with 3 minutes rest in between, in teams of 4, so they're getting that comp experience that we're doing. And we're giving everyone t-shirts so they feel like an arena athlete. They feel like, yeah, I'm part of this, and they'll wear it again in the box, and they realize like it's not that intimidating. They've come in, they've been a team of 4, they've been pushed, they've worn the t-shirt, like they get the concept and that sort of stuff. That makes sense anyway.
Yeah, I think again, I think the media, not wrongly, I might add, the media have done a really good job of highlighting the tip of the spear. And what we've sort of lacked a little bit of is celebrating and demonstrating the rest of the spear. We, you know, as coaches, we fucking celebrate every day. Like I've done 5 hours of coaching this morning. In every single hour of that, I've celebrated with an individual for whether or not they hit the time cap, whether or not they hit a deadlift 1RM, whether or not they got their first pull-up, whatever it might be. We celebrate that at a daily level. And I think we need to reconnect those dots between celebrating all levels on a competition floor, because that's what it used to feel that way. You know, it wasn't just the elite and then everyone else. It was the elite were part of what we do. So the more that we can connect all of those little dots, the more that this thing CrossFit becomes a lot more apparent about what it actually is and what it means and why the games matters, because it does matter. The CrossFit Games matters whether I like it or not. I'm pretty sure I sing from the same hymn sheet. I've been convinced this year more so than ever that the games matters. I used to love it. I fell out of love with it. I thought they're nothing to do with us. We're not part of that. They were doing what they want. They don't care about the gyms. But then I had an epiphany at the, hands of Daniel Chaffee. And then I realized they are us. And if we embrace them and if they embrace us and we meet in the middle, we are all this big thing that we can show off, and we're part of this big tribe. So it's really important. But in able to do that, we need to connect all of it. And we need those everyday athletes going to town, which is why the Open matters and why events like yours matter. But the USP here for you guys is that name, arena. Like being in it rather than in a PE hall with those wooden benches in like school halls and stuff like that. We don't need that for spectators. Like I'm Kat, if you're a gymnast, I'm sure your parents probably had enough of those when you were younger at competitions, like my daughter does. But, it's legitimizing it. It's making people feel special. And I guess the job of the affiliate owner is to use your branding, use your event, and use it to demonstrate to their everyday athletes, you've got a goal here. You've got something you can achieve and obtain, and you can genuinely feel like you've achieved a massive, event here without directly comparing yourself to the elites. Because I had this.
That's it.
I felt like I was a bit of a fraud. If I go to competition and I feel great about the fact that I've done some chest bars, I felt a little bit of a fraud because the games athletes are doing 30 ring muscle ups unbroken. Why am I celebrating? But I was reminded, you should fucking celebrate. Everyone should be reaching their goals. And because I do that with all my clients at the gym. So why aren't I doing that myself on the competition floor? It really does matter. And training.
You're talking about something that's sorry. I was going to say that concept there is something that I always try and put across as to why I fell in love with CrossFit. Kat is probably sick of hearing it. Honestly, right? I go in a CrossFit gym. I could do a workout with anybody, with Taylor fucking Howe, with yourself, with Matt Fraser if I needed to, with Tia, right? And I'd scale it and I'd do that workout with them and we'd get the same stimulus and we'd enjoy it and we'd compete together. I can't go and do that with Cristiano Ronaldo. I cannot train with an elite footballer. It's not an option, right? I can't go and play basketball with LeBron James. I can't. But in terms of CrossFit, I can train with whoever I want. I can compete with whoever I want, and it'll be made so it's the same. And I think that's the thing that you're talking about as well, as making everyone feel special and getting the connection between the elites and the everyday athlete. If we can get them in an arena, the everyday athlete is going to feel like as special as an elite. And I think it's another space to elevate the elites as well. They'll be sick of the school halls. They'll go, right, this is my time to show off. I mean, we've got a lot of people coming in and doing RX for the first time, right, Kat?
Yeah, 1,000%.
Amazing.
And the thing is that, I was going to say, it's not only that as well. It is like, yes, we're going around and we're handing out free t-shirts and making everyone feel part of it. And that's one of the missions of the business as well. Arena Games isn't me, Kat and Simon. It's everyone that we're getting involved. It's every athlete from complete novice to elite. We want them to feel like they're part of the building of the Arena Games. They're literally the cement that's holding it together. Yes, we've started it, but everybody else who helps it grow and is part of the events when we do them are the ones that are actually the main part of this business and this movement effectively becoming
I also think,
as big as we envision it being.
Yeah, to speak to it as well, right? Obviously coming from a music events background, we've had people offer to volunteer, and this is a really normal thing in CrossFit. It's so normal, and it is so foreign to me. I have never, ever done a music event and someone go, oh, I'll work the door for free. Or do you need me to help the sound tech? Or I've never had it ever. And people just want to be involved. The amount of messages I've had from people being like, oh, I'm not going to compete at this one, but if you need me to judge, I'm there.
Brilliant.
And I want to elevate the sport and elevate that culture as best we can, really.
Yeah. And again, like events do matter. I was talking to Daniel about this yesterday. Again, I keep saying his name. Events matter. Getting out of your own little bubble of your gym. If affiliate owners, gym managers, individual athletes at the gym, just regular everyday members, they need, especially the everyday members, they need to be told, if they didn't already know, that CrossFit is much bigger than their gym. Like we are this big thing that you are part of. It's not just that roof over your head. So linking up, going to events, going to, affiliate gatherings, going to things like Coaches Congress. Kat, I don't know if you've been to one of them before. I'll speak to you off air about that. But I'm the UK ambassador for Coaches Congress, and the reason I love that role is because I get to go to these events and I get to see everyone else that is just as passionate as me about CrossFit, understands what it is, and wants to be around our little tribe, because we are little still. CrossFit's tiny. It's this tiny little niche corner of the fitness market that we know should be fucking massive. And it isn't, and we need to get it out there. And the events are where we all gather and we go and tell everyone, and we resource all of our kind of brains that we've had at the gyms and our events, and then we go back out into the world and we try and market, which is why events like yours, where actual fitness events, they are a massive marketing tool for CrossFit, whether or not CrossFit, license it or whatever. If you do a functional fitness event, CrossFit win out of it. So that's a big deal as well. One thing you did say about Ronaldo, obviously football is an open sport. So when you're in an open sport, it's very difficult to mix in the elites and the amateurs and people like me that are just shit. Whereas in a closed sport, so when you're in your lane, like I could race against Usain Bolt. I could. I'd lose. I wouldn't win, but I could, and he wouldn't affect my time. So with CrossFit, we've got this amazing ability to have everyone stacked against each other doing their own thing. The loads can loads, distance, and volume can change. So Zlatan Ibrahimovic, have you seen his videos recently?
Yeah, he's on it, isn't he? It's crazy.
Yeah,
isn't it?
No.
I really hope.
Yeah, he's definitely doing CrossFit.
Is he?
He's doing CrossFit. Yeah.
Yeah,
and if ever you want to feel really good about, like you just said about a minute ago, I couldn't train with Cristiano Ronaldo. You can be better than Zlatan Ibrahimovic at something. You can do the CrossFit Open and you can beat him. How good is that? You get to beat the god of football at something. But yeah, but I like that. And if I was CrossFit, if I am working at CrossFit, my one goal to recruit new members is to get Zlatan to make a video about CrossFit, or go and meet him, get a media team out there and fucking do a video with him for an hour. Can you imagine how many new young men would go to the CrossFit gyms if we got him involved? Fucking hell.
100%.
Anyway.
That is such a shout. We can do that. I believe that.
Yeah, just contact that and just give him a ring.
We've done everything so far. We figured it out.
Exactly. Why not, hey? Why not? Or get Andy Carroll, whichever one you want.
Andy Carroll all day.
Well, we've got Jonas Gutierrez in CrossFit Tyneside at the minute. Are you that deep into football? You remember Jonas Gutierrez? Newcastle player.
Gutierrez. I remember the surname Gutierrez. Yeah.
Yeah, he had testicular cancer and came back.
Yeah.
Saved Newcastle from relegation. He played for Argentina at World Cup.
Is he a Tyneside?
Massive name, and yeah.
Amazing. I love that. Oh, good.
I know.
Now,
I spoke to him on a 200-meter run, actually. So
really, see, you remembered that. So here's the thing, right? So I'm going to pull up the website quickly, because there's one reason that I'm going to get to by bringing this up, right? So this is the event page. So you go on to Circle 21, who are doing really big things, actually. I like what I've seen with them in terms of events and the platforms. Events, obviously, we're coming through here now. 21st of February. Is that the weekend before the Open?
It is. Weekend before.
It is.
That's it. Yeah. So that's a
people
big
are peaking at the right time.
Exactly. I was going to say, if you want to make sure that you are peak for the Open, and the type of people that we want doing this competition, so your everyday person, you want to be peaking for the Open. And what better way to peak for the Open than to do the Arena Games? So Open, the weekend before the Open.
Yeah.
Now, divisions, we talked about that. So we've got in the mix and locked in. Now, what is locked in? Is that the RX, right?
In is the RX people. They are very locked in. They're switched on. They've got their training. That's the branding behind that. Then in the mix, that's everyone. Get yourself in the mix. It's got all of our, so we've set the standard of you're expecting toaster bar and pull-ups, but we've also just the other day put out a video about the fact that we've got scaling options for the gymnastics, etc. Just so that we can get everybody there, everyone in the mix.
Yeah. What's Arena 10?
So we've had
Arena 10 is going to be. Oh, sorry.
No, you continue. You're good.
I was going to say it's going to be our Arena 10 is a brands division. So this brands division will be exempt from the prize money in the RX division. This is basically where we get the right CrossFit brands involved with their sponsored athletes and that sort of stuff.
Right.
So Volt have announced a team with Sammy Rocket, with Phil Roy, and then we've got a Jubel team, we've got a WIT team, and
Cool.
we're just going to carry on announcing from there.
Brilliant.
Hopefully,
Lovely.
Defiant are going to announce this afternoon. We're on a call with Steve after this.
Nice. No, I love it. Etc. Yeah, we etc. Yeah, some people say etc. don't they? My mate does it. No, I don't say anything to him. Now I'm getting to the bit that I was hoping for, right? So hang on. I think it's at the bottom here. Quickly scroll quickly. Yeah, right. So right. One of my bugbears is over the years seeing really repeated team names. Clean my snatch, look at my snatch, that kind of shit, right? It's my bugbear. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh, fuck off. Anyway, I was scrolling through the teams here, looking at just numbers and who's registered and everything. And hand on heart, after my team name from Tribal Clash in 2016, that was the best name ever. This is the best team name I have ever seen at a CrossFit competition. Are you ready to see it? Wait for it. Toes to Barnold Schwarzenegger. That is the best team name I have ever seen. So Craig Murray and Lindsay Tudhope, you win the best name, best team name for the competition already. So well done, you two. I won't forget that name. But yeah, so registrations obviously are live now. So you've got teams of 4, 2 male, 2 female.
That's it. Going back to the roots, 2 guys, 2 girls. Like, again, it's one of the only sports you can have your men and your women competing at the exact same time. I know we talk about elite and intermediate competing at the exact same time, but the same with you mixed teams. Like myself being a woman competing against a guy. I grew up with 2 older brothers. That's such a motivating factor for myself. So yes, that's the route. Going back old school ways. 2 guys, 2 girls, teams of 4 is the format.
Awesome. Excellent. And in terms of team registrations, have you got a cutoff date for teams? Have they got like a cutoff date with them when they can register?
So we've got it set up to the 2nd weekend of February, which gives us then 2 weeks to turn everything all around for the event being the 21st of February.
Mm-hmm. Lovely. Okay. Vendor Village. Have you got a vendor village? Is it something that you're going to have?
Definitely.
Yes, sir. So
yes.
if you, I don't know if you've been in Utility Arena in Newcastle.
I haven't had the pleasure yet. No.
So you basically, when you come in, you've got it's like a bit of a horseshoe, and then when you walk in, you've got like all of your food stalls, all those bits and bobs in the horseshoe there, and then the entrances to the arena are kind of like at either side of the vendor village. So it's literally prime for it. It's absolutely perfect. We're also, I think, with regards to that, the comps that I've seen, they have the vendor village almost on the competition floor, and I think there's no opportunity for sales really there when you can hear everything going on. You can hear the MC, you can hear the music. Interaction wise, people don't really want to hang around. Their ears are ringing from hearing the comp going all day. We've got almost perfect when you go in, activation space, and then you can come in and out. From my perspective as well, being from events, I know how long there are between workouts and stuff like that. I want to make that time worthwhile. So we're talking about doing as much interactive stuff as possible, really. We want to have an ice bath there. We've got a couple of my friends who are yoga and Pilates instructors coming in to do some flow sessions. We want a deadlift competition out there. We're going to try and get erg shoot out there. We're just going to
giant
try and
hooker
pack
duck.
it with hooker duck, yeah, if we can.
I'm convinced by a giant hooker duck.
So I'm assuming you're saying hook a duck, not hook a duck, because that's something very different.
Yeah, that's 2 different things. No, I'm talking about the giant yellow ducks.
Yeah. One thing I do like as well, this promo video. So is that the arena that you're going to be in?
Yes.
Amazing.
Which one is it?
Oh, I don't know.
Norma Taylor. I believe
Is it the
Big
one with
screen.
the teams in?
Oh,
So it's
hang
Taylor
on.
at the start,
got-
and then
there we
goes
go.
into-
There we go. There we go.
Play it. Play it.
Yes, that is the arena.
Yeah.
So we did a test day
Amazing.
basically up there with all the local boxers. Just basically got, I think we got 10 or 11 local boxers. Say bring in a team of 4. Come and see the space, come and understand that this is actually happening in an arena. I know it sounds wild, but this is CrossFit in a major UK venue. It's for real. Got a rig up. We got obviously barbells out. We got a DJ, and we just did a little workout demo of how.
Yeah, that doesn't do the
That's
space
about a third of the
justice.
arena.
Yeah, if that. Yeah,
That's about a
quarter
third of
maybe.
it.
Cool.
We're looking at 25 lanes, a 25 bay rig, and then
Wow.
also trying to, which teams are 4, so we could have, you know, a fairly decent amount of teams on the floor at once. And then we're also committing a little bit more space than we should to the warm-up area, because from what I've felt, the warm-up areas just stink. So we're putting a 5 bay rig in the warm-up area, quite a few barbells, quite a few dumbbells, as many ergs as we can get our hands on. We're taking up quite a bit of space in the arena to commit to that, because we just athlete experience is going to be everything, right? I mean, all these comps, they're going to come back if it's a good athletic experience.
Yes. Have you got any plans to, because you talk about the everyday athletes, is there any plans at some point to do like introduce a masters category at all?
I think
Yeah, definitely for me.
Future comps. Yeah, we'll get you soon. Plans of future
No.
comps of you can adding in all the different categories and things like that, and trying like threes and pairs and trying all the different. I think for this first one, just to try and get us off the ground, wanted to just stick with. We've got the two categories that, and teams of 4, 1 whole way through.
Yeah, you're doing it right. Building from not the ground, but building from simple. I always got the feedback, and I quite enjoyed getting the feedback on my comps that it was simple, and I was like, thanks very much. Like it was real basic stuff. Time management is the number one thing at a competition that people remember. If it was run over or their heat was late, they remember that. They don't remember the great workouts or the event of village. They remember that they were late for a workout. So keeping time management, it just allows for simplicity, allows for an amazing competition that people remember and come back. So that absolutely bang on there. So good. There was one more question that I had. Are there any plans for, is it the one event per year is the plan at the moment, or have you got plans for another event later in the year at all?
So it'll be 3 events next year. As a minimum, and we want to kind of create a season for athletes, because I feel that they need something to build towards and check in every few months, and kind of tour the UK essentially is the other thing.
Brilliant.
I think we want to bring this to as many cities as possible. So definitely staying in the north for the summer with another venue, and then moving down south after that, hopefully towards September time.
Yeah. And then we've got goals further past that, which will keep some cards close to our chest, of course, because we've got some pretty decent big ideas going.
Amazing.
For the season
good stuff. The last question was about the kit, right? So you said you purchased the kit, and it was the first time kit you bought. I know it sounds silly. Have you got anyone servicing your kit? Have you got anyone that's like looking after your kit out of the 3 of you, or have you got someone on your team that's like looking after the kit?
Who's answering that?
You want to do it, Jake? Is that you?
No. But I know a guy that can. I'll speak to you. I'll speak to you after the show. I've got a mate who's that's exactly his job. So he looks after it and makes sure that kit's looked after and serviced properly for events and for gyms. So I'll speak to you about that. No, guys, you've been an absolute pleasure. I love what you're doing. And if I wasn't in Berlin the week before, for Coaches Congress, I'm going to have a 6-week-old baby. Then
Congrats.
my number 3. Thank you. My 3rd kid. So I can't really afford to be away too much, but the next event, I promise I would love to be there in the crowd watching, or maybe competing. But I'm going to try and get a Manx team there, because we've got a lot of athletes that want to compete and love competing. So I absolutely love what you're doing. Congratulations on that. The whole UK scene will be thanking you after this event for what you've put on and what you're doing. So you're doing a good job, something we really need. And I'm so glad that nice people like yourself are the ones that are facilitating it and putting it on. So thank you so much. Tickets are available at the website. So I'll get everyone. I'll put the link in there. I'll share the screens. Everyone go and give Arena Games a follow on Instagram. Check them out. And guys, thank you so much for your time. And I look forward to meeting you again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Absolutely. You're a hero. Thank you for having us, man. You're a gem.
Oh, my pleasure. Right. I'll give the guys a